This story has been brought to you by racism. Racism is accepted wherever true Americans are.
Perfect.
The man who sparked protest and backlash after a video of his racist rant against his Mount Laurel neighborhood went viral has pled guilty to fourth degree bias intimidation and second degree counts of possession with the intent to distribute a controlled substance. Edward C. Matthews, age 47, formerly of the Essex Palace condo community of Mount Laurel, was arrested in July of 2021 after a confrontation with neighbors where he used the N word and other racially charged slurs. Matthews will serve an 8-year prison sentence, according to his plea agreement filed in Mount Holly on Tuesday. His sentencing hearing is scheduled for December 8th. Authorities began investigating Matthews on July 2nd of 2021 after a resident of the community reported a harassment complaint against him. Shortly after the initial report, police were called to remove someone from the area on Coventry Way, where officers witnessed Matthews hurling racial slurs at 4 of the residents. He was initially charged with bias intimidation and harassment, but later, video recordings of the incident went viral and set off days-long protests, drawing large crowds of the neighborhood. By July 5th of that year, Matthews was arrested and escorted from his home as more than 100 people protested outside. Investigators reviewed the recording of the incident and found that Matthews had spit on someone during his outburst. The full investigation found that Matthews had engaged in a pattern of abuse and harassment on the community for years. One such incident including a feces smeared note with threats scribbled on it left on a neighbor's car. Authorities later charged Matthews with 3 separate sets of harassment, bias intimidation, and criminal trespass before hitting him with another round of charges, reaching back to 2020 a week later. He eventually faced over a dozen charges, but pled guilty to 4 counts of bias intimidation and 1 count of possession of a controlled substance after he was found to have had mushrooms. The Mount Laurel Police Department conducted the investigation with assistance from the FBI. I would like to say that this is some of the best news that I have heard in a very long time. 8 years in prison. I wish they would have just kept adding on charges. I wish it would have been just a full-fledged 10. So he would have been getting out near his close to his 60th birthday. Like I said before, this is something that is very much well deserved. Kudos to the prosecutors, to the judge, to the police for actually doing their job. Kudos to those who came out there to protest due to the fact of how it is that Matthews wanted to act belligerent and deranged, how it is that he decided that he wanted to go on a racist rant with a lot of the neighbors directly out there. Shout out to all of those people that showed up and showed out both in life and on social media, bringing awareness to what it is that Matthews was specifically doing. Like I said, this is a very disturbed and disgusting human being. To go out on a limb and to want to have a feces smeared letter that you have scribbles written on and you want to leave that on somebody's car, you are a very disgusting type of human being. You are a whole nother type of entity to want to go out there and do something like that. Like I said before, he was using his body or things from his body as a biological agent, as a weapon against somebody else. I really wish that they would have raised that as some type of a charge, because realistically that should be a charge, because nobody knows what it is that another individual or person has, or what it is that they are suffering from, right? Or what it is that they could potentially pass on and infect somebody else with. So again, that was him using a biological agent and giving that to somebody else. What needs to happen is that if we, I guess as people like to say, if we really want to get over racism and all this other type of people need to get prosecuted. This is the type of prosecution that needs to happen every single time. Whenever it is that an individual decides that they want to enact a different type of racism, right? Now, some people may go on the limb and say, like, well, that's not really going to stop it. That just means that people are going to be more careful, or people are going to be more closeted with their racism. I mean, either which way, people are still closeted with their racism still to this day, no matter how it seems that society has moved forward with wanting to, quote unquote, incorporate or have other nationalities and religion right there next to them. living side by side, going to restaurants, walking down the street, driving down the fairways, going to a market, going to the movie. However it is that people want to state that they are very inclusive with everybody, realistically, a lot of people are not. A lot of people do not like change. This is why we've seen so many different things take place within 10 years, where people have decided that they wanted to protest certain types of things. They wanted to show up with masks, and they want to start waving flags, and they want to do this and they want to do that, because that's them protesting that they have a fear of the transition, of the changing of guard. They have a fear that they are not specifically seeing themselves anymore when they go outside, right? Because that was the comfort. Whenever they would walk outside of their homes, drive on the streets, go to the market, go to the movies, look at entertainment, listen to music, they saw themselves. And now, bit by bit by bit, they're starting to see that, it's not, we don't really see ourselves anymore. But realistically, if you look at it, it's more than just you out here on this planet. But you can't really tell that to people. People want to see what it is that people want to see. So again, people are, suffering from their own ignorance. People are suffering from the fact that they don't, you know, want to be side by side with other people. So because people would rather live in some type of a lie or a safety net, they're going to get left behind. Right. And a lot of those people that get left behind are, inevitably sooner or later going to become some of the most dangerous people, right? Because they're going to be on the brink. They're going to be the ones to, potentially try, certain things. While everybody else is pretty much getting along and moving along with life and doing whatever it is that they want to sit up there and do, those people in that corner, they're going to feel left behind. They're going to feel that nobody cares about them. And due to that, and due to not getting that attention that they want oh so much, they're going to formulate their own ways of bringing about and getting that type of attention and sending out this flare or this smoke signal to other people. So again, people better pay attention. People better be watching, and people better be taking note of everything that is taking place when it deals with the United States, when it deals with people trying to be inclusive, when it deals with people trying to bring in other people, and so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. Because sooner or later, there's going to be a very large problem that is going to come from all of these things. Because again, you can't cater to everybody. Somebody's going to be disenchanted. Somebody's going to feel left behind. Somebody's going to feel abandoned. So hopefully people are paying attention. But again, the main point of this video is that racism doesn't pay.